Okay, our team owner for tonight's race winner, the number 5 Hellman Chevrolet, is Dale Earnhardt Jr. And second week in the row, that number 5 car has gotten to victory lane last week at Kentucky and then here tonight at Daytona. And got the victory there right at the end. You know how that is in plate racing, but just talk about that's your 6th win, Dale, for the JR Motorsports organization this year. And Regan Smith takes over the points lead, 12 now, ahead of Elliott Sadler. So a big night tonight for your organization.
Yeah, just real proud of the company and what they've been able to accomplish this year and how many gains we've made over the last 24 months. They guys have been working really hard. We got some great people in there. We've got some people that's been there a very long time. We got some new blood in there over the last couple of years. Everybody's got a great attitude, and it shows in the results. So we got a great relationship that's gotten stronger with Hendrick. We talked about this last week after the race in Kentucky, how important the engineering and resources are. And we have that information now flowing both ways. So I think that HMS gets a little bit out of our program, and we definitely, we definitely get a lot of help from them. So it certainly makes a big difference when you have those resources and when you don't. And we've been on both sides of that fence in the last 6 years. So just real proud of the job that Casey did, Regan did. Chase did an awesome job too, till he had his trouble there at the end. And they got great race cars, and they did a good job with them staying where they needed to and just driving hard all night. So just real happy with them. Real proud of Ryan. Is that the 39 run third?
Ryan Sieg.
I watched him at Dover when I was on top of Regan's pit box, and he impressed the hell out of me. I haven't really paid a ton of attention to him prior to that, but I know those guys were just kind of running on a shoestring. And he had a couple runs during the race at Dover that were better than anyone outside the top 5 for sure. And he kind of hung around and raced with a 62 and a couple other guys and some equipment that was far better than his. And so it's great to see him run well, because I think that he does a lot with very little. So it's good to see.
Questions for Dale? Jenna?
Jennifer, AP, 2 questions. The first one, did you know who won? Could you tell?
Yeah, I was right, and I was at the 7 box. I started the race on the 5 and went to the 9 and then ended up at 7. The 7 happened to be pretty much just about in front of the start-finish line. So when I saw when I saw him come by, it looked like the 5 was sideways. He definitely had a handful of wheel trying to keep it straight with whoever was pushing him through there. But I noticed right away that he had the lead before they got to the line. It looked like he beat him by a quarter of a car. So I was just glad it was one of our cars. When I saw somebody flying by on the top and I got a glimpse of it, I was happy to see it was a 5.
And is there one thing that you would point to more than others that you can attribute these 6 wins to, this huge surge this season?
The relationship with HMS is probably the most important. And that line of communication got stronger through Ryan Pemberton's work, and obviously bringing in Greg Ives. He's going to tap into the resources that he knows are there. And also HMS is very fond of Ryan from years ago when he was working on the Army car, and they've always thought a lot of him for years. And he was put into that position for that specific reason, really because we wanted to strengthen that relationship. So when Ryan was put into the position, really he was a competition director kind of thing, and that was to build that relationship. And having having those resources and being able to just understand the information that we have, and there's things that I don't even know that benefit us through that relationship in a technical sense. And it definitely directly affects the performance, speed of the cars. Obviously, great drivers like Chase and Regan, and having Harvick come in, he being an owner, understanding what makes cars fast. Their stuff was great when he was over there building his own cars, and then when he was running for Richard, their stuff was always good. Ernie understands what they were doing right and everything that was working for them. And a lot of what was great was when we brought those two guys in, they have a lot of tricks that we didn't know, and then they come over and see the tricks that we know and say, hey, those are pretty neat tricks. I think we can make them even better, and here's some tricks that we were doing that y'all aren't doing. So when we add everything together, we just get a lot of speed in the cars. And but the line of communication to HMS is so important, and we just let that deteriorate over the years to where there was no back and forth and no interest. We weren't an asset to them. We weren't doing anything that could help them. We couldn't communicate back and forth. So the people that we have there now really got that line of communication going back and forth to where we obviously get a ton from it, but it also helps them. What we're doing on the racetrack, what we're learning, also helps them. The best part about it, I guess, to add to that real quickly, is people. We're grooming guys that HMS has high interest in, that they're taking and recruiting through their ranks, and it's a system that's really profitable for both companies. Just moving people around and giving people experience in the right spots without having them leave, the umbrella is really good.
Go over here to Stan and then Kelly. Stan, Kelly.
Stan Creekmore with RPM.com. Based on what you just said, who was instrumental in that growth? Was it Rick Hendrick? Was it you? Was it somebody within your team? What put it all back together? And how much does the success you're having on the nationwide side help keep you pumped up on the Sprint Cup side?
I think that one person that gets left in the shuffle, doesn't get as much credit as Kelly. She really is the one pulling the levers and steering the ship and making the major decisions that really affect the company as a whole. She doesn't talk about nuts and bolts, but she definitely is involved in personnel, personalities, who would work well where, what people's responsibilities should and shouldn't be. So she plays a huge role in the chemistry of the company, and that's what's gotten better, in my opinion, had a huge effect on our performance and our success. But I just, I enjoy being successful in the Nationwide Series just because I never imagined it happening. I don't know that it does much for me on Sunday. Just driving and running well in those cars affects how I feel on Sunday and gets me excited about racing on those cars. When we go out and run well each week in the 88 on Sunday, I get excited about the next race. But the Nationwide Series is just about having fun, being blessed to be an owner, and being blessed to have partners that want to help us afford to do what we do and go to the racetrack and be able to put Casey in the car and go win. He's wanted to win a plate race for so long, so being able to help him or be a part of that. Working with Kevin is a blast. He's always been a pretty good friend of mine since he started driving the AC Doka car. So it's we just have a ton of fun with that. Yep.
Kelly?
Kelly Crandall from Popular Speed. Dale, 6 wins, 1-2 tonight. Regan and Chase have both gone back and forth with the points. You've said before how badly JR Motorsports wants to win the Drivers' Championship. At this point, would anything less than winning that championship be disappointing after all of this success?
Yeah, most certainly. I think that we have 2 great opportunities. We definitely seem to be a strong enough team, and we think we can get better in a lot of areas with our cars and improve our speed. We think that there's some areas that both the 9 and the 7 can improve individually. So we haven't seen I don't think we've seen the best of either one of those teams this year, and hopefully they can realize their potential. And I think if they do that, there should be no reason why they shouldn't one win the championship between the two of them. That'd be just a dream come true to have those two guys come down and battle it out together.
Take one more question for Dale. Anybody have a final question for Dale Earnhardt Jr.? Chris?
Dale, ChrisKnight, I got a question in regards to qualifying in both series, Nationwide and Cup. Would you rather see qualifying races as an part to what we saw today?
I think you can work on this a little bit. I had a little fun on Twitter today talking about heat races, but that's probably a far-fetched idea.
Nice job.
Yeah. Good job.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. I think that they could take what we're doing and tweak it a little bit for this particular racetrack in Talladega. Maybe shorten up the segments to where it forces everybody to go. You know, I don't know if you just ball it up and throw it in the trash just yet. Heat races are always fun. You can never go wrong with heat races, in my opinion. But we got away from them for some reason. Because that's, you know, what they used to run in the 50s and 60s, and pretty much at every racetrack was heat races. I remember when we started out at Myrtle Beach running late models, they ran heat races when I got there, and by the fourth year we weren't running them anymore for some reason. So I'm not sure they're the end-all be-all answer to everything, but maybe at this particular track, just it's still waiting around, you know, and sort of the foolishness of sitting on pit road and wanting to be last off pit road. I'd just rather going out there and have to hustle and go after it, and maybe just kind of shortening up the segments or doing something. I'm sure NASCAR is thinking about it and talking about it, and they got people that are a lot smarter than I am that can figure it out. Yep.
Thank you, Dale.
Thank you.
Congratulations, and good luck tomorrow night, Dale.